The Explaining Atheism program aims to identify the key causes of atheism, agnosticism, and other forms of non-belief. Beyond the challenges of definition and measurement, we also face the challenge of causal inference. How can we be more confident that something is a cause of atheism and not just something that's simply correlated with atheism?
The accepted wisdom for much of the last century has been that if you want to identify causes, you need to do experiments, where you randomly divide a sample into a control group and a treatment group, administer your hypothesized cause to the treatment group, and compare the two groups on the outcome of interest. While a small number of experiments have examined whether particular types of stimuli can decrease religious belief, like an argument from the biologist Richard Dawkins against the existence of God, most researchers don't use experiments to investigate the causes of atheism. And you may be able to understand why. Any changes in participants' self-reported belief ratings that happen from a short exposure to a potential cause in a psychology lab are unlikely to endure for long after they leave the lab. The experiments don't move people from one enduring belief state to another. And indeed, many of the causes researchers have hypothesized for atheism, things like scientific education, exposure to religious hypocrisy, lack of exposure to costly religious actions from parents, higher levels of state welfare spending, those processes occur over long periods of time and are brought about by many different people and institutions. This makes them impractical and potentially unethical for experimental study.
So, most scientific research on the causes of atheism has used correlational data from surveys and secondary data sources. But we've been told again and again that you cannot infer causality from correlation. Now, there's good reasons for this, as one can make some severe, even humorous mistakes if one takes correlation to imply causation. The website Spurious Correlations, kept by Tyler Vigen, keeps track of things that happen to closely correlate with one another that we're pretty sure are not causally related, such as the divorce rate in the US state of Maine and per capita margarine consumption, or the number of letters in the winning word of a prominent spelling bee competition in the United States, and the number of people killed by venomous spiders. While the statistical procedure of regression helps us predict an outcome of one variable based on another, it's still not enough to establish causality, as it's vulnerable to a number of biases that may hide confounding factors.
To address this challenge of causal inference, the Explaining Atheism program will take up the tools provided by what Judea Pearl and others have called the causal revolution in data analysis and statistics. This involves using causal diagrams and counterfactual reasoning to make our causal models clear and testing data against these models in ways that allow us to minimize the impact of confounding variables, the very thing that makes experiments so powerful. There's a rapidly expanding literature on how to best use these tools to infer causality from observational data, with perhaps the best evidence coming from their success in fields of epidemiology, economics, and education. While we recognize that causal diagrams are not a magic bullet that will deliver us all the true answers of our causal questions about atheism, they will help us be much more principled in making and testing causal claims and, we hope, advancing our causal understanding of atheism.